Hey guys, we're going to get into the skin portion of anatomy and physiology for the Ohio Cosmetology and Barber Board Natural Hair Theory. So, once again, as I said before, anatomy and physiology is 25% of the exam questions. There are 100 multiple choice questions in total. So, let's jump right into it. And I'm letting you guys know right now that I'm about to jack these words up because subcutaneous epidermis, and that's simple. But the rest of this stuff, but we're gonna learn regardless. So if you know the real words, good for you. But it is. I'm doing what I can do. I'm doing the best with what I got. And then what Mariah Carey said. So for those of you who are new, my name is Aisha. I am currently prepping for the Ohio Cosmetology and Barber Board to receive my advanced natural hair stylist license. I recently graduated from Love My Hair School in Warrensville Heights, Ohio, right outside of Cleveland. And I am going in for my full thing. And I have my exam already scheduled for January 2026. So come on and study with me. All right, so this is going to be a chapter out of the Milady Standard Cosmetology, edition 14. So this is chapter 3, skin structure and growth. And the learning objectives are explain why cosmetologists must understand skin structure and growth, list the skin's three major layers, their sublayers, and their functions, describe the nerves in the skin and their functions, define melanin and how it affects skin pigment, describe the role of collagen and elastin, list the two major glands of the skin and their functions, and list the skin's six functions. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Be good to your skin. You'll wear it every day for the rest of your life. I know that's right, Renee. This is so true. Why study skin structure and growth? As a well rounded cosmetologist, you must learn about and understand the structure of skin and how it functions to be able to advise your clients on how to improve their overall appearance. Clients want their beauty providers to inspire them to have healthy looking hair and skin and a radiant appearance, no matter their age. Cosmetologists should have a thorough understanding of skin structure and growth because knowing the skin's underlying structure and needs is crucial to providing excellent skincare for clients. Understanding advances in technology, ingredients, and delivery systems will ensure that you can offer state of the art advice to your clients on how to protect, nourish, and preserve the health and beauty of their skin. Cosmetologists cannot diagnose, prescribe medications for, or provide any treatment for irregular skin conditions, illnesses, or diseases. Refer clients instead to a dermatologist, who are physicians specialized in dermatology, a medical branch of science that involves the study of skin and its nature, structure, functions, diseases, and treatment. Skin layers and their functions. Healthy skin is free of any visible signs of disease, infection, or injury. It's approximately 50 to 70% water and is slightly moist, soft, and has a smooth, fine grained texture, feel, and appearance. The surface of healthy skin is slightly acidic, and its immune responses react quickly to organisms that touch or try to enter it. Appendages of the skin include hair, nails, and sudoriferous sweat and sebaceous oil glands. As the body's largest organ, the skin is composed of three main components: the epidermis, the dermis, and the subcutaneous layer. We will discuss the surface of the skin and work our way down into the deeper layer. The epidermis. The epidermis is the outermost and thinnest layer of skin. It contains no blood vessels, but it does have many small nerve endings. The epidermis is made up of five layers called strata, singular stratum. First, the stratum corneum, also known as the horny layer, is the epidermis outer layer and is what we see when we look at the skin. It is overlapping skin cells and forms a barrier to protect underlying tissues from infection, dehydration, chemicals, and mechanical stress. The cells are continually being shed and replaced by cells rising to the surface from the skin's sublayers. The stratum corneum is made up of keratin, a fibrous protein that is also the principal component of skin, hair, and nails. The stratum corneum's cells combine with lipids, fats, produced by the skin to help make it a protective, water-resistant layer. The complex of lipids between the cells is known as the barrier function. It keeps the skin moist by preventing water evaporation, guarding against irritants, penetrating the skin surface and helping to regulate the skin's pH. The stratum lucidum is the clear translucent layer under the stratum corneum. It consists of small cells through which light can pass. This layer is located only on the palms of the hands, soles of the feet, and digits. It forms our unique fingerprints and footprints. The stratum granulosum, also known as the granular layer, is the layer of the epidermis composed of cells that look like granules and are filled with keratin. The cells die as they are pushed to the surface to replace dead cells shed from the stratum corneum. The stratum spinosum, also known as the spiny layer, is just above the stratum germinativum. The spiny layer is where the process of skin cells shedding begins. The spinosum is the largest layer of the epidermis. The stratum germinativum, more commonly called the basal cell layer, that's what I'm going to call it because is the epidermis deepest layer. This is the living layer where everything starts or germinates. This layer produces new epidermal skin cells and is responsible for the growth of the epidermis. It is composed of several layers of different shaped cells. The basal cell layer also contains special cells called melanocytes, which produce skin pigment called melanin. Melanin protects the sensitive cells in the dermis located below the epidermis from the destructive effects of excessive ultraviolet UV light from the sun and ultraviolet lamps. Melanin is discussed in greater detail later in this chapter. The dermis. The dermis, known as derma, corium, cutis, or true skin, is the skin's underlying or inner layer. The dermis extends to form the subcutaneous tissue. The highly sensitive dermis layer of connective tissue is about 25 times thicker than the epidermis. Within its structure are numerous blood vessels, lymph vessels, lymphs, sudoriferous sweat glands, sebaceous oil glands, and hair follicles, as well as erector pili muscles. The dermis comprises two layers, the papillary layer, superficial layer, and the reticular layer, deeper layer. The papillary layer is the dermis outer layer directly beneath the epidermis. Here you will find the dermal papillae, singular dermal papillae. Listen, I already told y'all, which are membranes of ridges and grooves that attach the epidermis. Some papillae contain looped capillaries, and others contain small epidermal structures called tactile corpuscles with nerve endings that are sensitive to touch, pain, heat, cold, and pressure. Note that papillae in the hair follicle are called hair papillae and are the small cone-shaped structures at the bottom of hair follicles. The top of the papillary layer, where it joins the epidermis, is called the dermal epidermal junction, or DEG, not DDG, DEG. The dermal epidermal joint, mess myself up. The dermal epidermal junction connects the dermis to the epidermis. The reticular layer is the deeper layer of the dermis that supplies the skin with oxygen and nutrients. It contains the following structures within its network: blood vessels, lymph vessels, sebaceous oil glands, sudoriferous sweat glands, hair follicles, erector pili muscles, nerve endings. Subcutaneous tissue. The subcutaneous layer, also known as hypodermis or superficial fascia, is composed of subcutaneous tissue, also known as adipose tissue or subcutaneous tissue. It's the fatty tissue below the it is the fatty tissue below the dermis. It gives the body smoothness and contour, contains fat for energy, and acts as a protective cushion for the skin. It varies in thickness according to the individual's age, gender, and general health. Nerves that affect the skin. Nerves form a network of pathways for conducting information throughout the body. There are two types of nerves, motor and sensory. The skin contains the surface endings of the following nerve fibers. Motor nerve fibers convey impulses from the brain or spinal cord to the muscles or glands. These nerve fibers stimulate muscles such as the erector pili muscles attached to the hair follicles. For example, erector pili muscles cause goosebumps when you are cold or frightened. Secretory nerve fibers are motor nerves attached to sweat and oil glands. They regulate excretion from the sweat glands and control sebum output to the skin surface. Sensory nerve fibers send messages to the central nervous system and brain to react to heat, cold, touch, pressure, and pain. Skin pigments. Skin color, whether fair, medium, or dark, depends primarily on melanin, the tiny grains of pigment coloring matter produced by melanocytes and then deposited into cells in the stratum germinativum layer of the epidermis and the papillary layers of the dermis. Every person has the same number of melanocytes or pigment producing cells. Some people's cells produce more melanin than others. The size, number, and makeup of the pigment granules produce the depth and the tone of an individual's skin, hair, and eye color. Both internal and external factors affect melanin activation and production. Differences in genetic skin color are due to the amount of melanin activated in the skin and the way it is distributed. Individuals with darker skin and melanin have more activity in their melanocytes. This is an example of an internal factor. An external factor influencing melanin production is sun exposure. Melanin is the pigment that protects us from the sun. Melanin production is stimulated by exposure to sunlight and protects the cells below by absorbing and blocking UV radiation. Melanin does not provide enough protection to prevent skin damage. Daily use of a broad spectrum sunscreen with a sun protection factor SPF of 15 or higher can help the melanin protect the skin from burning, skin cancer, and premature aging. Broad spectrum means the sunscreen has been shown to protect against UVA and UVB radiation from the sun. The body produces two types of melanin: phenomelanin, which is red to yellow, and eunomelanin, which is dark brown to black. People who have a phenomelanin dominance tend to have rosy skin with red or neutral hair colors tones. People with eunomelanin dominance likely have cooler hair and skin tones. It is very common to have a mix of both pigment granules, which tend to produce golden skin and hair tones. The skin gets its strength, form, and flexibility from two specific structures found within the dermis: collagen and elastin. These two structures are composed of flexible protein fibers. They make up 70% of the dermis. Collagen is a fibrous connective tissue made from protein that gives the skin form and strength. This fiber makes up a large percentage of the dermis and provides structural support by holding together all the structures found in this layer. When collagen fibers are healthy, they allow the skin to stretch and contract as needed. If collagen fibers become weakened due to age, lack of moisture, environmental damage such as UV light, or frequent weight changes, the skin will begin to lose its tone and suppleness. Wrinkles and sagging are often a result of collagen fibers losing their strength. Is Elastin is a protein base similar to collagen that forms elastic tissue. Elastin is interwoven with the collagen fibers. Elastin fiber gives the skin its flexibility and elasticity. It helps the skin regain its shape even after being repeatedly stretched by external factors like tugging or pulling, or expanding by internal factors such as weight gain or pregnancy. The same factors that weaken collagen also weaken elastin. Both collagen and elastin are important to the skin's overall health and appearance. As we age, gravity causes these fibers to weaken and skin will produce less elastin and collagen, resulting in sagging skin. Most scientists believe that many signs of skin aging are caused by sun exposure over one's lifetime. Using a daily broad spectrum sunscreen with the SPF of 15 or higher, maintaining a moisturizing skin care regimen, and keeping skin free of disease will slow the weakening of collagen and elastin fibers and help skin look younger longer. Skin glands. The skin contains two types of duct glands that extract materials from the blood to form new substances. These are sudoriferous glands and sebaceous glands. The sebaceous glands secrete oil while the sudoriferous glands excrete sweat. Sudoriferous or sweat glands all excrete perspiration and detoxify the body by excreting excess salt and unwanted chemicals. They consist of a secretory it consists of a coil. The coiled base of the sudoriferous gland and tube-like sweat duct that ends at the skin surface to form the sweat pore. Practically all body parts have sudoriferous glands, which are more numerous on the palms of the hands, the soles of the feet, the forehead, and the armpit. The sudoriferous glands regulate body's temperature and help eliminate waste products from the body. The evaporation of sweat cools the skin's surface. The sudoriferous gland's activities is greatly increased by heat, exercise, emotions, and certain drugs. The nervous system controls the excretion of sweat. Typically, 1 to 2 pints or zero point 0.1 to 1 liter of fluids containing trace amounts of minerals such as sodium, potassium, magnesium are eliminated daily through sweat pores in the skin. Sebaceous oil glands are connected to the hair follicles. They consist of little sacs of ducts that open into the follicles. These glands secrete sebum, a fatty or oily substance that lubricates the skin and preserves hair softness. With the exceptions of the palms of the hands and the soles of the feet, these glands are found in all body parts, particularly in the face and scalp, where they are larger. Skin functions. The skin's 6 primary functions are protection, sensation, heat regulation, excretion, secretion, and absorption. Protection. The skin has many defense mechanisms to protect the body from injury and bacterial invasion. Sebum on the epidermis protects from external factors such as bacterial invasion. The acid mantle is the protective barrier made up of sebum, lipids, sweat, and water. These components form a hydrolipidic film to protect the skin from drying out and from exposure to external factors that could damage it. Hydro means water, lipidic means oil. Hydrolipidic film provides an oil-water base. A hydrolipidic film provides an oil-water balance on the skin surface. The acid mantle has an average pH of 5.5. The skin's pH protects the body from pathogens. This outermost layer is resistant to wide variations in temperature, minor injuries, chemically active substances, and many forms of bacteria. Sensation. The skin responds to heat, cold, touch, pressure, and pain. When the nerve endings are stimulated, a message is sent to the brain. You respond by saying, ouch, if you feel pain, scratching if you have an itch, or pulling away if you touch something hot. Heat regulation. A healthy body maintains an internal temperature of about 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit or 37 degrees Celsius. As environmental temperature changes, the skin's blood and sudoriferous glands make necessary adjustments to help cool down the body by the evaporation of sweat. Excretion. Perspiration for the sudoriferous glands is excreted through the skin. Water lost through perspiration takes salt and other chemicals with it. The sudoriferous glands serve to prevent the body from overheating. Secretion. The sebaceous glands secrete sebum. This oil lubricates the skin, keeping it soft and pliable. Oil also keeps hair soft. Emotional stress and hormone imbalances can increase the flow of sebum. Absorption. The skin's outer layers can absorb some ingredients, but very few ingredients can penetrate the epidermis. Small amounts of fatty materials, such as those used in many advanced skincare formulations, may be absorbed between the cells and through the hair follicles and sebaceous gland openings. Cosmetic products are not formulated to penetrate the epidermis. Woo! We survived, guys. That is the end of skin. So we're going to move on to the next portion, which is hair. Makes sense because I went to hair school. But this part is going to be very detailed. There are going to be multiple chapters on this one. So I'm going to go through all of them because you never know what you don't know. All right. See you soon.